in your house.
Bada boom, realest one in the room. How you doing? I'm a certified G, bona fide stud. You can't teach that. And you are tuned in to IYH.
Hi, this is Isla Dawn, and you're watching In Your House podcast. This is Alexis Littlefoot, the Big Flexer, and this is In Your House.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smooth.
How goes it, household? It is me, the voice, here for the AEW Dynamite, yeah, review show. We're missing a comrade, if you will. Howse is experiencing some heat in his place. His AC went out yesterday in his house, and he doesn't have a guy there until tomorrow. So not laughing, but it sucks for Howse. I told him to get some comfort and told him me and OG Tony got it covered. OG Tony, how goes it, my friend? How are they treating you?
Pretty good. I think it's going to be a rough weekend this weekend. After this past weekend, I had all that wrestling to watch.
Yeah.
And man, I was in heaven. I tell you, it was a great weekend. I thought all the shows did a great job. I liked everything that I pretty much seen. Now I was worried about AEW show after about the first 6 matches. Not that the wrestling was bad, the wrestling was great, but nothing was standing out to me story wise. Nothing was grabbing me. But the last 3 matches, man, kicked ass. I mean, they really kicked ass. And like I told some guys the other day, if somebody would have come up to me, what was the best show of them 4 shows? I said, honestly, I give all of them the same grade. I give them all of them like a B minus, A minus. But if I had to pick, I would have probably, just because Sammy won the title, I would have went with that. And my second one, believe it or not, was TNA. I thought it was fantastic from start to finish. And again, my third choice would have been AEW. And then I would have went NXT. And the only reason NXT is not farther up there because they showed this show with commercials and not really a PLE, which I thought hurt the show a little bit, even though I thought the wrestling, all 4 shows knocked it out of the park. If somebody come up to me and said, hey, AEW was the best show, I would have no argument. If somebody come up and said NXT was the best show, I wouldn't have any argument because all of them knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. I love that, Tony. And yeah, that does put you in a perplexing situation for this weekend. You better figure out a way to fill the wrestling hole in your heart for the weekend, my friend.
Yeah, well, I think me and my wife's going to an air show tomorrow night. Wow. If we decide to brave the heat, and then we always go over to the horse track on 4th of July. And I like horse racing, so I'll go and bet the races, and she'll go gamble a little bit, and then we watch the fireworks. So
I love that. Well, you can always convince her, throughout the night to just swing a clothesline at you. Whenever she feels necessary, and then you could try to dodge it. There's your wrestling.
Well, this past Saturday, when Oba came out, she was doing the Oba dance as she was getting ready to go to work. She was doing the Oba dance.
I love that, Tony. Well, maybe she could do that while she's gambling if she wins big. Just get the Oba dance out there. I would love it.
She probably would.
That's fantastic. All right, Tony. Well, the In Your House Network is on a bit of a streak right now. We have not dropped a show. We've been consistently running a show since Saturday,
Cool.
and this one is pretty consistent. So we're going to keep that streak going. And tomorrow, fans, we're keeping that streak going with Kevin Calloway is going to give one of the first ever TNA reviews here In Your House. So he's going to watch tonight and then give you guys a breakdown tomorrow. And House may be joining him. So stay tuned to that for more information. And that may become a regular thing. You never know here at the
Yeah.
In Your House Network. All right, Tony. We had some AEW Dynamite.
Yes, we did.
We had Forbidden Door, which we'll get some thoughts on that real quick. And then we had this Dynamite. I'm going to say great on both. Forbidden Door, like I agree with you. There was a little bit of lull, but those last 3 matches really kicked it out and really stepped up the game and made Forbidden Door really fun. And then they followed it up with this Dynamite, which I enjoyed this Dynamite. This Tony, if you didn't feel this way, let me know. But to me, this felt like actually besides one thing, and I'll get into that later, but it felt like a well-rounded Dynamite. Like they had it locked in. It from the segments to the wrestling to, I mean, I know we had a lot of Kenny Omega and a lot of Will Ospreay, but it didn't feel like there was a lot of lulls in this Dynamite.
I agree with you. I thought that it started off really good from the start. I don't think that it was a great Dynamite as far as wrestling. Not that the wrestling was bad on it,
Yeah,
but I don't think that was the main focus. I think it
no,
was very. I mean, what I liked about it, and something that they struggled with sometimes, they had a very good start, they had a very good middle, and they had a very good end. So it had a good thread all the way through. And to me, in my opinion, it was the best Dynamite they've probably done in 2 or 3 months.
yeah,
Uh, for me at least. I mean, I liked it a lot. I know we're gonna give our loves and lows. I really don't have a low. I didn't have anything that I really, you know, absolutely hated. I mean, I could say, okay, I wasn't crazy about Sheeta getting the title, but I mean, she's still a good wrestler. So I mean, I can't come down on her. I would have rather seen maybe a different choice, but that's nitpicking, honestly.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
the only thing I'm not sold on is still I think he's a great wrestler, but he's had a lot of injuries and stuff. Jay White, I'm still not sold on Jay White and the Bang
mhm,
Bang Gang, but
okay,
hey, they may prove me wrong. So I'm here to see if they can change my mind. But I really liked the show. I thought it was very good. Uh, I thought they did a good job. Like I said, I didn't think it was real well compared. They did this kind of show a couple weeks ago, and then last week did 8 matches,
yeah,
and then this week they went back. And I hope they stick with this formula. I think it's a better formula.
I do
I
too.
really do. Now next week they're loading the show.
Oh
I don't know why. Even Dave Meltzer was like, "What are you doing?" Because he says he knew for a fact that Redemption main event was supposed to be MJF and Kenny Omega. So they're giving that main event on TV next week, and you're giving Fletcher the Fletcher match on TV next week. Fletcher and Takeshita.
yeah,
So I think they're worried about the ratings. I know the ratings out of the last 3 weeks hasn't been super great, but you got the World Cup going on. You got the Cup going on tonight. It's going to take a hit. It's going to
and
happen
it's summer. This
in the
is when
summer.
wrestling hits a lull until
Yeah.
SummerSlam. It happens every year. Like you have to really understand those ebbs and flows of the wrestling world.
Yep.
They're even though we make fun of each other a lot and say, people don't go outside in the wrestling fan community. We do go outside,
Yep.
especially in the summertime. There's a lot to go on. Uh, all right, we have Ripshot already chiming in. He's saying, "Hey Tony, can you guess who's not on TV next week?" And Tony, why don't you let us know who he's talking about?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Gaston Leroux is not on TV.
Yeah,
Uh, He's trying. He's trying very hard to get an NWA. I
Yeah.
will say that he's working on it. He's working on it. So I'll give him. It's hard for me to, but I'll give him a little bit of credit.
Hey,
I'm not. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to piss off Rib Shop, but he is trying.
he is trying. Like he's busy as shit. I follow
Yeah.
his social medias, and he's always in some big match at some promotion somewhere. All right, so my only critique, Tony, is the fact again we had a really solid pay-per-view, and when we come back to our main show, there's no video package to open.
Yep.
There's an interview from what just happened at Forbidden Door, package set up already, boom. And then we have the Kenny Omega love fest. Like, how many times do we got to see Kenny Omega tell somebody backstage that he loves them and to go home
Yeah.
and rest up? Like,
Yeah.
we get it, dude. You like guys that you train with, and you have a brotherhood with them. But the fact of the matter is, we don't need to see it in a promo package. You're good, bro. Just do your Omega stuff. But again, Tony, this is the second time that I think you can agree with me that it's a swing and a miss with the opening of the Dynamite. I get it. Will Ospreay's hot right now. He had a fantastic some are saying match of the year caliber match with Swerve. He threw from A to Z everything in his arsenal at Swerve, and he's got a lot of momentum behind him, but still that does not trump a video package to round up your really good pay-per-view. Tony, tell me your thoughts, man.
When they first started the show, even if it would only been a 60-second video package, start that and then did your backstage stuff, it would have been even better.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Did you? I want to ask you, did you see the main event?
Of this Dynamite or
No, of the pay-per-view.
No, I was getting ready to rewatch that tonight.
Okay.
Later on, but no, I've seen highlights of it.
I'd be anxious to get your thoughts on it, because I thought it was an incredible match. It's not even the top 3 for me. I think it's top 5 for me of match of the year. And the reason for me, something that took me out of it, and some people are going to say that's not fair, but I didn't feel like, and I know they're trying to tell stories, so I hate to be critical of AEW trying to tell a story, because we always say tell more stories, but I didn't think you needed to have John Moxley and the group come out and cheer him on and give him encouragement, and that's what put him over the top. That's why he won the match.
Yeah.
That hurt it for me personally. Now, I'm sure there's other people that loved it, and I know they're trying to tell a story. I'm not sure exactly where it's going, but I seen it's starting to come together. You can see that a little bit. I just don't know what direction they're going, and I think it may be all right. I think that the Death Rider thing may end up working out okay with Ospreay, because I'm seeing the flashes of it where it's looking a little better, and I will say that Moxley in his promo with Ospreay was a really good actor, or he was really sincere. He seemed sincere in the stuff that he was saying. Now that don't mean he won't turn on him in a heartbeat either, but they do have me interested a little bit in where they're going, more so than they did a couple of weeks ago. I'll say that.
Yeah, they're telling a story, and like Fighting's One is saying, he says, I think I think Ospreay is AEW's biggest star right now. They got to put him all over the show. I get it, but they have to do it better. To me, having him stand there with Omega, first off, Kenny Omega is a great in-ring performer, and I know Howse will agree with me on this one.
Yep.
But we don't need him on a mic. We just don't. There's never been a promo in which I go, Kenny Omega has knocked it out of the park on this one. No. He gives you, he's very, very like one lane when it comes to his. And I get it. Like he's the trainer and it happened in every single Kenny Omega segment between the one with him and the Young Bucks. It got to a point that I didn't even watch his announcement. I was gonna let you tell me what he decided, and
Yeah.
that's when I cut it off. Man, I only had like 10 minutes left of the show, and I knew
Yeah.
Kenny was, and I didn't need to see another Kenny Omega. Like if he was going to wrestle, I would have watched because I enjoy watching Kenny Omega matches. Um, but that's where I'm at with it. I agree with you also. I think that they are moving in a more digestible way with this Will Ospreay and Death Riders storyline. And I think I'm with you where I'm willing to set back and see where they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I was not. I
No.
mean, you guys heard me right here. I've
Yeah.
said his name twice and called him Osprey and not Ocean Spray. So I mean, I'm giving him respect, but it won't last long, bruv. So we could keep moving forward with that. All right, Tony. So that puts us at the MJF and the Briscoe match. It was an okay match, but why?
Yeah. I
Why
mean,
did
we had that big cage match just to lead to this. It kind of really don't make sense, honestly. And more blood right off the bat. I mean,
yeah,
we had quite a bit of blood on the pay per view, and then you start right. I mean, you run the risk of doing it too much, and it don't mean anything.
true, true. I think they got away with it in this one just because of the previous match. And
Yeah.
the commentary team really kind of helped with that. How they said MJF was opening up the wound from the
Yeah.
last match and trying to make it. But yeah, I agree with you. There comes a point to where you don't have to have blood every show. And this is coming from a straight up ECW fan who just loves a
Yeah.
good amount of blood. Again, this was an okay match.
Yeah.
Um, again, good, but why? Why did we need it here? I think this could have honestly this match could have waited till next week. Why
Yeah.
not? Gives us a week in between. Uh, I wouldn't mind that. Uh, I don't like this the championship stipulation that MJF is putting out there. The never being able to challenge for the title again is an annoying one for us. I
Yeah.
mean, for me specifically, but I think I remember everybody saying something about this. Um, Tony, what's your thoughts on the stipulation between MJF and Kenny Omega?
I don't like it. I mean, honestly, it killed Cody. We haven't seen Hangman since March. So rumor is he's coming back next week. So is Hangman going to screw MJF? I don't know where they're going. There's a lot of people that think MJF's going to be champion now. They think the match is going to be Omega and Ospreay now. Um, I don't know if I like that. I mean, we've had all this story with MJF. Uh, Personally, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say Omega and Ospreay is not a great match. It is,
It
but
is.
personally, they had sold me more on MJF being the champion with all the stuff he's been through. And also, I know that Ric Flair was a 15, 16 times, 17, whatever champion, but I don't like the fact that they have MJF lose quite a bit.
Yeah,
I I, I know it don't hurt him. I mean, because the dude's gold. I mean, he's the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest star in the company. I know some people say that Osprey is, but if MJF's off that TV, they're going to feel it more than they do Osprey, in my opinion, as far as ratings.
no,
As far as but because everything that MJF can do, I'm not saying MJF is better in the ring of Osprey, but overall, the overall package, what he can do with anybody, and he's proved it. Any kind of match with anybody, uh, MJF's in my opinion, by far the biggest star that they have. So I think they got to be careful in how they deal with him. Uh, if he's not in that main event, who's he going to be against? Andrade, Hangman.
yeah,
So I don't know. And like you said, giving this big match away, what's going to be the main event of Redemption? You're giving away the Omega MJF on free TV next week. So that was the original plan. So why do we have a pay per view called Redemption if there's no redemption?
Yeah, see, and I agree with you on this, but I it drives me nuts because you have MJF, and we'll hit your comment here soon, rib shot right after this. But you have MJF who plays the devil. He said it multiple times. He is the devil. So why wouldn't you have, if you're going to put up something for a hoop for Kenny Omega to jump through, why wouldn't you just have Kenny Omega battle if he goes up against Will Ospreay, and if he wins, he gets a title shot against MJF at Redemption.
Yeah.
In that way, you're forcing Kenny Omega to put his feelings and his friendship aside and go up against somebody that he truly does love and care for, Will Ospreay. And Will Ospreay is such a competitor that yeah, he understands the situation, but he also understands that it's a match and it's a win and it's a win over Kenny Omega. So then you create that little bit of division and stuff. And then if you go with the Osprey winning it all in and at Wembley, his against MJF, because that's where the money's at. That's where you're going to get your biggest bang for Osprey to win over somebody in front of his hometown crowd is against the devil. Like that's why you're building like this is what you're building to. So when you do that, and then you have this whole Kenny Omega thing, then at Redemption, boom, Kenny wins against Osprey, somehow pulls it out. Now when Osprey has that title and he goes up against Kenny Omega while holding the title, now it's meaningful because now there's some type of you have Will Ospreay pissed off that he had a loss to Kenny Omega. Now he's the champion. He feels like, and then Kenny wants to be the next champion. So, I just wrote that right there. There you go, Tony. I don't know, where they're going though. It's interesting. I'm gonna stick around, but
Yeah.
I honestly don't need Kenny Omega in the title picture.
Yeah, because that's I agree with you. I think you could do that after he wins the belt at All In. Then you've got plenty of time because then it also sets up the story, in my opinion, more with the Death Riders because there's friction between all three
Yeah.
with Moxley, and so now you've got story for the next 3 or 4 months after that pay per view.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's
And I
what I
agree.
thought they would. That's what I thought they were doing. So I'm not sure where they're going now.
Well,
Just
when
have
you
to wait,
do,
yeah, I guess.
yeah, and when you do that, you're playing chess. You're thinking 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
You're setting up for the future. Let's get to the chat, but I have to ask this too. Does Will Ocean Spray watch Transporter before he does his promos? The way he talks sometimes when he's going low, he just
Yeah.
reminds me of Transporter. All right, let's hit the chat. We got Ribshot chiming in. He's saying this all building for Ospreay's crowning moment at Wembley. It'll be a big moment, and what they do with him from there is what will count. All the Death Rider shit is unnecessary filler. I can see where he's coming from on that one. I mean, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. We also have Fightins One saying there has to be some kind of setup, and there does. There has to be something that explains the why. And right now, personally, Kenny Omega being in the middle of this, you're not explaining any why to me. All right, so going forward, Tony, I like this shift with Andrade. I really do. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I believe you mentioned how you weren't a big Andrade fan,
Yep.
and you didn't really get what's going on with this Forbidden Door big match. I think that answered a lot more questions with him. There's also what I alluded to with Kevin Knight joining the Callis family. We officially have our first big chip off of the Don Callis family since his arrival. I think there's going to be more to follow, and I think Andrade is going to be pulling some of those guys away. Um, let me ask you, where are you at with Andrade right now? Did you enjoy what you seen from Forbidden Door up until now? Did you like this segment? Let's hear it, Tony.
Yeah, I love what they're doing with Andrade now. It's got a little bit more of a direction. The only thing I worry about, and it's okay. He always says he wants, and he should say, "I want that world title." I just don't. I don't think they're going to put him in that situation. I think he's going to be more of the guy that's going to maybe take one of the other titles. You know, either the TNT title or the international title. I hope he at least gets a crack at the championship, but I don't know that he will. And it could be. I mean, they could be headed for something with MJF. So I mean that's possible.
True.
And so I'm not sure exactly where they're going, but I do like it. I love what he did. I look, that cage match, winning that cage match, I wasn't real excited, and they shut me up because they did a hell of a job. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best cage match I ever seen or
No.
anything, but it entertained the hell out of me. And when Leo Rush come out of that bag, I popped. And then when they put him back in the bag, I popped. When they carried him out of the ring in the bag, taking him to the back after the match, it was just outstanding. And like I said, and Andrade was outstanding in that match. So it was cool that two people that got featured in that match, maybe some people would have thought they wouldn't have been the feature. So that was a good thing for that match. Even though, like we said at the start of the show, I don't know why we had to have such a big cage match to get to the
Yeah.
opening, the match of this show. But it is what it is. I mean,
Did you like that design of the cage?
yeah, my only criticism I would have, and I'm not saying it was because of the design of the cage, I didn't think they used the cage enough.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I think it was new, so they weren't really sure how to go about it. I design wise, the only thing I would do is on the very top, I would make that top platform all the way around a little
Yeah,
bit bigger. I would
yeah,
just make it a little bit bigger so you just have that extra security to move around up there. And
yeah.
if they go any bigger up there, they're going to be starting to add a lot more moves up there and
Oh,
some
yeah.
some more insane
Yeah,
things.
make it almost like a scaffold, make it pretty wide, uh,
Yeah,
because you could add a lot of stuff to that. I agree with you on that. I think that would be good to add to the design. That again, that was my only criticism, but I have criticism of that with a lot of cage matches, even whether it's a square cage. They don't use the cage enough. I mean,
gotcha.
I'm old school. I'm old school. I don't need to see 20 chairs and 10 tables. I'm not saying I don't mind a chair or a table, but when all they worry about is the weapons, why do we need the cage if they're not using the cage?
True, true. And
That's
Ribshot, I
my
agree with you on this one. Leo Rush is Turbo Gollum. I've been calling it since he's really started pushing this character. I've been saying it's a Gollum character, and he's doing it very well. Uh I did also like in this Brian Cage. We're getting him featured. He's still such a beast. That dude just looks like if you look up
yeah,
muscle in the dictionary, Brian Cage's face is right there, right next to it. Um AEW fans also, you can tell, hate Don Callis.
yes, they
They
do.
just hate that man. Leo Rush, again, he can't miss right now. He's really knows what he's doing. I also will say Kevin Knight, he knows how to deliver in a match, man.
Yeah,
With this match he went up with Leo, I really enjoyed this one, and it wasn't mostly because of the wrestling. I did enjoy the wrestling, but what I really enjoyed the most is Kevin Knight. He is kayfabe for AEW. He stuck to every bit of him in the story that was supposed to be painful, or because
yep.
of the explosion, because of Darby Allen. He played to it from the start of the bell to the end of the bell, and everything in between. I absolutely loved. I thought this was a great match. Tony, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the match too, and I'm glad you brought up about Kevin Knight selling because that's been one. That's been one of the things
Yep.
that I have problems with AEW. Not enough selling, and he sold from the like you said before the match, beginning, middle, and end, and after the match he was still selling, and that's
Yep.
what it should be. That's the way it should be. I mean, honestly, that's a perfect thing. I think that we should have seen more selling out of MJF and Mark Briscoe. Then, they was in that cage match. So, honestly,
100%.
that is a criticism. I'm not saying they didn't sell at all, but I think they coulda did a better job. They didn't do what Kevin Knight did.
Yeah, Kevin Knight set a bar for selling uh, this AEW Dynamite. It was perfect, and that I remember our discussion on the criticisms of the selling and things like that, keeping the story going. So I definitely when I seen Kevin Knight do it, especially under the guise of Don Callis, I like those things, and I think those things need to be addressed because it goes back to what we talked about. I honestly thought this was a great match, and I want more of Leo Rush going up against the Callis family. I
Yep.
like that. I think that his type of insanity and their type of prestige mixes well with each other because they don't know how to take him. Don Callis is afraid of Leo Rush. And I definitely love that. Then we folded into the Derby portion of this. I think, and this is a criticism on Don, I think this segment went far too long, maybe 30 seconds too long. You could have wrapped that up quickly. You didn't need Callus awkwardly standing for the last 45 to 30 seconds at the end
Yeah.
of that. Could have moved past that. Did you have any thoughts on that one there, Tony?
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but again, I agree with you. I think it made it a little bit long because they was just kind of. It seemed like all of them was kind of standing there waiting for it to end,
Yeah,
in a way. And so I think you're right. I think it did go a little bit, maybe a little bit too long, but
yeah.
it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It sets up uh future matches and future stories. So we gotta like that. And I think they're using Darby well, especially after that really good world title run he had. All right, going forward, I have to say this. Renee is that extra piece backstage that a promotion needs
Yep.
for this Champa interview to go over as well as it did. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the Renee portion of it. I enjoyed the trash can flying in. I enjoyed the brutality that happened afterwards because now, I mean, it's even more believable that this is a blood feud.
Yeah.
This is a feud Jericho's investing in too. We're seeing him actually like putting forth effort. I know we always see that, but there has been years where it's kind of been like cut and paste with Jericho. Uh,
Yeah.
and that may be just because of the direction of the stories and things like that, but he's re-energized. I enjoy this. We get to see Champa. I love him.
Yep.
Tommaso is one of my favorites, and this psycho killer gimmick, you know me, I absolutely love it. Tony, where were you at on this one?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll be honest. When they first started this feud a few weeks ago, I wasn't sold on it, but I think it's moving
Yeah.
in the right direct. I think it's moving in the right direction. I agree with you about Champa. My only issue with Champa, I think he should be pushed more.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a big Ciampa guy, so to me, I think he should be pushed even more. I know he had the belt for a cup of coffee, but I think he's more valuable in that. But I
I do
mean,
too.
but you can't push everybody at the same time. So I understand. We'll see where it goes, but that would be my only criticism. I like Ciampa a lot. I think he deserves to be a little further up the card, but we'll see
No,
where it
I
goes.
I agree with you on that one. But what I will say though, it's not in typical AEW fashion where they just if they can't push him in the world title scene, they just kind of fade to the back. He's
Yeah.
staying forward and he's with
Yep.
one of the biggest names in AEW. So
Yep.
I think we can take some good out of that. So we'll put a pin in that one and we'll keep our eye on Tommaso lands. I'll say that it was a good MJ or it was a good Mox and Will Ospreay versus the Swirl match. I enjoyed it. I thought this was the Swirl had some great moments in
Yeah.
this match. And I didn't mind it being a Mox and Ospreay match. Maybe I would even say this one could have went a little longer. The
Yeah.
match itself, I never say that on an AEW show. So, Tony, where were you at on this one?
I agree with you. I like Lee Johnson. I'm a big Blake Christian fan. I watched him a lot in Game Changer because he held the title over there for a long time. So I've seen him wrestle quite a bit, and I like Blake Christian. Uh, I'm hoping that they'll get more of an opportunity as a tag team. I don't think they'll use either one of them real heavy as singles,
Yeah,
at least not anytime soon. So hopefully they'll get some play as a tag team. Yeah, it wasn't a bad match, and I agree with you. I was happy that Lee Johnson and Blake Christian did get some stuff in. They just didn't just take a beating the whole
yeah.
time. They did get to show some stuff, so I was happy with that.
I like that. They did this tag team move where one had Mox in a Death Valley driver, and then there was a stomp from the top rope, and then
Yep,
right into the Death Valley driver. I thought that was really cool and
yep.
really could be a finisher for a tag
Oh
team.
yeah.
I kind of like that. So I enjoyed what they were doing. Again, that's why I said I think this could have went a little longer, but I'm okay with where it's at because it really highlighted the Swirl in a great fashion with two guys that are really hot right now in AEW. So you gotta really take the good out of that one. So OG Tony, we go into Cope and Christian doing their thing. I'm starting to see some division between these two.
Yeah.
And it's all at the hands of the one guy you were talking about earlier, Jay White.
Yep.
Um, I'm happy the Bang Bang Gang's back in full force with their leader. I'm a huge Jay White fan. I like him. I There's just something weird about the way he does promos that it's off, but it's like that weird off that you can look at and be like, "Oh shit, I like this. I like how he's different." He's it's he's got this weird thing where he tries to get sayings over all the
Yeah.
time. But I like it because
Okay.
it's wrestling to me. So let's hear your thoughts on Jay White coming back, and I'm gonna give a prediction after you give some thoughts on this one.
I- Jay White was somebody I heard a lot about a few years ago. I'd never really seen much of him, so I was excited to see him come in. And I'm not going to blame Jay White. I don't think that his what he was given worked. So I think it was more AEW's fault than his, and then also injuries, and that's nobody's fault.
Yeah,
You can't blame anybody on that. So I'm excited. I want to see what Jay White uh, can do. My only issue with the Bang Bang Gang, and not that they can't be a great group, we just have so many groups in AEW.
that's true.
Now they're going to it looks like they're going to feud with the Shane Taylor group. So I so that would be my only criticism. We got a lot of groups, so they really going to have to do something to stand out if they're going to move up.
No,
So
I hear you on that one. Um, I think we're getting something here.
okay,
And what I think we're getting is I think they're going to do a big tag team faction match. Shane Taylor's production might be involved, but I for right now I do see it directly with the Bang Bang Gang and the Dogs. I have a feeling that it's going to be the Dogs versus the Bang Bang Gang, and the Dogs are going to add Cope and Christian.
okay,
So because what Christian's going to do is he's going to say to Cope, okay, I get it. You cashed in with Jay White, a favor, blah blah blah. I get that, but for me to put up with that, now you owe me a favor. So we're teaming up with these guys to take them out. In which Cope's going to turn in that match. He's going to turn on them, which is going to create the division between him and Christian even more. Because I think we've come to a point to where I don't. When you add this type of division for me as a fan, in AEW, it's almost telling that they're getting ready to split them up. Now they may pull back if they're getting New Day. We will be finding out in the next few weeks because I believe it's at the end of July that their no compete is up, and so we should find something out there. And if they are getting them, I think they might pump the brakes, but they're going to add some type of extra layer to where we're going to know that once New Day's here, they're going to split up these guys. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Cope's almost done. I mean, I don't know how much longer he can go.
I don't either.
I mean, we weren't even sure how long he could go when he came to AEW.
He's done everything that he can do. What I mean, what
Yeah.
what is there left to do?
And why not go out in the fashion of you did the tag team run with your longtime tag team partner. You guys got the title back. Finish it out with a feud between you guys. I know we've seen it before, but why not finish it out that way? Or have New Day retire him.
I would love to see. I would love to see. I don't know what mix. Probably would be maybe New Day, maybe Edge and Christian, and maybe the Young Bucks. Ladder match, and that would be don't have to be Christian's final match, but it would be Edge's final match. I think that would be a great way to go out.
I can dig that. I just need to know that they have a plan for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but that's my prediction inside the tag team world, the faction world of AEW. I think we're going to get some type of play into this Jay White thing and Christian and Cope a little further in the next few weeks. So now we're into the survival of the fittest match. I thought this was a really good match. I really enjoyed this one. I thought the action, Persephone, she's really growing on me. I'm really liking her presence, the way she conducts herself in matches like this. She almost had me thinking she was going to win this one. I was right there thinking, dude, Persephone might have this win. Tony, where were you at on this one?
Yeah, well, I was way off because I picked Harley Cameron, and about 1 minute later she got pinned. I thought, what the hell? You get pinned like 10 seconds after I say you're going to win it. I thought Harley would have been a good pick because it'd been something fresh and different. I didn't think Micah was going to win. Persephone I like a lot, so I mean I would have been happy with her winning. I don't want people to think that I dislike Chris Stanlander. I don't, but she's been in that position before. I didn't think she needed it. Micah, I didn't think she's been used enough, been around enough for them to put the belt on her. And I really didn't think she'd have needed it, honestly. But, she'd have got it. It was a good match. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. Queen Aminata, I think, could have been an interesting pick. Really, the person I thought that should have won it, she wasn't in the match. And that was Maya World. But she went in the match. I think that would have been perfect to get the belt on her with the steam that she had coming out of the pay-per-view. But she is wrestling in a qualifying match tonight for a shot at a title. So I'm not going to say that's bad, but it was a good match. I just not a big fan of Sheeta. That's just, I mean, not that she's not a good wrestler. I think she's been in that position, and I think it'd been better to have somebody else.
No, I got you. You want some new blood in there. You want to see what others can do, especially, the ones who've been putting in the work and really developing their characters and things like that. Um, I kind of think that they're doing they put it on Sheeta. They're going to keep it on her until Willow comes back. Um, and I could either if they do not jump Willow when she comes back into the world title picture, I think they're going to have a great back and forth between her and Sheeta.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's where they're going. That's where my hope is,
Yeah.
because we're big fans of Willow.
Oh yeah. It was weird because they announced Willow's coming back. They're just now putting the belt on somebody else, and Willow's going to be back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird timing how that worked out. Now I've
True.
heard some people, I've heard some other podcasts. They think it's going to be a 3-way with Willow, Mercedes, and the champion at the big pay per view All In. Not that I don't want Willow in the match. I personally want to see Mercedes and Tekla go 1-on-1 first.
Well, when does Mercedes get her world title shot?
I believe at All In.
Okay. So then they're thinking, then those podcasters are thinking they're doing this triple threat at Redemption.
No, they think it's going to end up being going to work out to be a triple threat at somehow. It's going to work into a triple threat at All In. That
So then,
that Willow's going to get added to that match.
huh?
But the winner of this tournament that they're doing
Okay.
is going to be wrestling Tekla for the championship soon.
Yeah, this is a weird situation if they're going to go that route. I don't know. I mean, I guess they could add Willow and make it a triple threat, but then that kind of negates everything that Mercedes did to get that opportunity. And
Another blurring the lines and getting cloudy, kind of like WWE just did.
yeah, and I think you definitely want to stay away from that.
Yes.
I think there was a huge backlash
Yeah.
on that one. I again, I really enjoyed this match from the start to the ending. Um, I hope they do more of these style matches
Yep.
in which there's opportunities at the end, whether it be for a title shot or the title itself. Um, what was her name? Queen
Aminata.
Amineta. Yeah. I think she's going to be big. I think she just needs some small things polished up. Like she doesn't need to tell motion for people to come at her. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, especially when if you're in the ring and you're getting the advantage over somebody, you don't Irish whip them in a manner that they get stuck on the ropes and then tell
Yep.
them to come at you. You got to do the forceful Irish whip so they
Yeah.
know, okay, I'm bouncing. Yeah. I little things like that, but honestly, I think with her size and her skill set in the ring outside of that where it's mostly moves, I think she's after like a couple months, maybe a year, I think she's going to be a big presence if they start featuring her more in the women's division.
Yeah, she was coming along pretty good in Ring of Honor, and then she got an injury, and that
Yeah.
sidetracked her a little bit. But I agree with you. The only thing I would say is I think she's a heel.
Oh, you're wondering a more heelish.
I think she's a heel. I don't think she's a
Okay.
face.
We can do, yeah, I could see that. I mean, it'll definitely give her a platform in which she'll learn how to be a face, if that time ever comes. But yeah, I could see that. Yeah, let's give her a heel run and see what she can do. Again, I enjoyed this match. It was really good. All right, so Tony, you're going to have to take over on this one because, like I said, I did not watch what Kenny Omega had to say. So why don't you fill me in and give me some news?
Well, he just pretty much said, that everybody had been talking to him, about, it's to give up a lot and everything if you lose the match and that type of thing, and that it's just basically he had no choice. He had to do it. So it was basically, and then of course, you had the MJF attacks him, and then they had to pull apart and all that stuff. It wasn't a bad segment. Again, I'm kind of like with House. Uh, the less Omega on the mic, the better.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just, I mean, just the way I feel about it. I felt that way for a while. Ospreay is better on the mic than Omega, but he can be bad on the mic too. He can be really good on the mic, but I think what helps him is he's got a good energy.
Mm,
Kenny don't
100%.
have any energy. He does in the ring, but not on the mic.
Yeah, he's
Personality
conserving
wise,
energy to get
yeah,
into the
yeah,
ring.
yeah. He don't have he do, uh Osprey oozes energy
Yep.
when he's in that ring, and the crowd feeds off of it. And I'm talking about even if just standing there, the crowd
Correct.
feeds off of it. So he's got that energy, and that's something you can't teach. So I mean that helps him, but he's not super great on the mic.
No.
I mean, at times he can be hard to understand. So, and I'm not trying to put him down or anything. He gets talking a little fast, and you got that accent. What did he just say?
Yeah.
But yeah, Omega is the less he's on the mic, the better. Uh, I did hear an interesting take that I did not agree with at all, and I wanted to see because you've seen the Omega match. I know you've seen that at the pay per view.
Yeah.
Uh, I think Meltzer's feelings are hurt because Omega's not quite as good in the ring as he used to be. And that's fine. He's not as good as he used to be because he's got older and he's had some illnesses and some issues. And that's not that he's not still great in the ring. He's still very good. But all of a sudden now, in Meltzer's great take, he is the greatest seller of all time. Nobody can come close to sell like Kenny Omega can sell. And I'm like, what the hell are you watching? Not that he was terrible at selling. I'm not saying that. But all of a sudden now he's not the greatest wrestler in the ring. Now he's the greatest seller. Get off Omega's balls and come on. I mean, Omega's is going to go down as one of the greatest wrestlers in the ring.
100%.
But when you start looking, he's and like he was all over Trick Williams. Said, when is Trick Williams ever going to have a good match? Why are we worried about what Trick Williams does? Trick Williams is performing and making money for his company. Why are you worried about Trick Williams being great in the ring or not, or whether he is or not? Why are you worried about it? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm there with you, and I don't understand why we can't, as fans, some of us can't just see the reality. And time is catching with it. It happens to every single professional that we see. Even Michael Jordan had to say, enough's enough. And at the end of the day, you're if if Kenny Omega is rolling into this new light for Meltzer and he's going to start calling him the seller, well, there better be evidence to back that up, because honestly, Kevin, like we talked about earlier, Kevin Knight is the only one who sold from this big pay-per-view that
Yes.
you just had. Like, why wasn't Kenny holding this back while he was talking to Will? This was right after the match at Forbidden Door. Like, what's going on here? Like, if you're going to call it like that, there needs to be some evidence, because why not? Why can we not just say Kenny Omega was such and such generation's greatest
Yeah.
wrestler, in-ring talent, blah blah blah, whatever you want to say, and now we're moving forward to the next ones, because I have a feeling people are going to be saying the same things about Will Ospreay in the next 10 years. They're going to be talking about how he's the best to ever do it and things like that. And he may lose a couple steps, because, I mean, look at the way the dude does a match. Your body can
Y-
only take so much.
Yeah, him and same thing with uh, Takeshita, and the
Yeah.
same thing with Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are. I mean, them three are the best bout machines right now. It's not Kenny, and that's not taking anything from Kenny. Kenny was.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you said, he's father time.
You get up there, and sometimes, you lose a couple steps. Frank Thomas wasn't crushing home runs like he was doing his first 5 years.
No,
You slow down sometimes, and that's okay because Kenny has so much to offer wrestling outside of just in ring and on a mic and things like that, that his legacy is going to be even bigger by the time he does hang him
yeah.
up. And who knows what he'll do after that? There's so many opportunities. So I think we're I think we're good on what we know of AEW and where they're going. I think there's actually a really good picture in front of us with a lot of the main stories that they're doing. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, Tony, let's give our grades and then we'll go into our loves and lows
Okay.
of this one. For me, I'm I this the for me this is a 9. This was a 9 show, and I know that's a really high number, but the reasoning is because again, it felt like a really good put together show. This felt like a show that, minus what I said at the very top of it, with a video package. Outside of that, this show flowed. This show showed me that they know who they are at this moment and where they're going, and I really enjoyed it. So again, I'm giving them a high ranking of a 9.
Okay. This is the best show that they've done after a pay per view in a long time. Usually they struggle bad,
Yeah,
and they didn't struggle. Especially, I wrote this down on my paper. The first hour flew by. I mean, 8 to 9, it seemed like 20 minutes. I mean,
yeah,
it just flew. Now I thought the second hour wasn't as good as the first hour, but I thought it was very good. And at the end of the first hour, I wrote down 9, but it dropped a little bit for me. I give it a 8.5 because
still,
I just didn't think the second half was as strong as the first half. But and you know me, I'm not easy on AEW. So
yeah,
8.5 is the best rating I've ever given. I really thought this show was well done.
yeah, yeah. That's an excellent score coming from you, uh, especially for right after a pay per view. They knocked it out of the park for me on this one. I
Yeah,
I
I
thought it was
agree.
great, a great after pay-per-view show. It was just fantastic. All right, so let's break into our loves and lows, Tony. Um Again, I'm going to go into the loving the production of the show, the way they put it together, how it was booked. Even though I've said, you have to show a video package. Like Tony
Yep.
said, even if it's only 60 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds, show something. You have to show something, and then you can go into these backstage video packages, which I'm not hating, but you need that extra element to add to the rest. I know, like Ribshot said, that this is in the Ospreay building era. I get it. You can do both, and it still builds Ospreay. Um, I love, again, the B players in this. And what I say about that are the guys like Leo Rush, the guys like the Bang Bang Gang, the guys like, the Shane Taylor production. Those guys are the reasons that um, I keep coming back, because I want to see what the next evolution of those talents are, and how they get wrestling on a different level. The Shane Taylor production, I love that those guys who are just there to whoop
Excuse me.
ass and talk shit, and that's what they do. The Bang Bang Gang, they're fun. They like to joke around and talk shit too, but then when they get into a match, man, watch Juice Robinson go in a match and tell me you're not impressed. Um, so I'm looking really forward to the tag team portion of AEW going forward in the next few weeks. I think they're going to show some really good things there. My last love is Kevin Knight. really, really sticking to the selling. When you do that, you make me even a bigger fan of you because you understand wrestling, you get it, and you get that a fan like me loves a story to be pushed. I honestly still think he's that powder keg that got lit when he joined the Don Callis family, and at the end of it, it's just going to be Kevin Knight and Don Callis standing. So I'm looking forward to that. What I loathe, the only thing that I can really hit at is this is the second pay-per-view uh, after episode in which you did not have a video package. Um, Hopefully that clears up. I mean, you never know. They might see it one day and be like, you know what, this is missing a video package. And then they add it in. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, the lows, I was struggling this week to find one.
Yep.
I really was.
Yep.
OG Tony, let's hear what you had to say.
I'm gonna do my low first because I agree with you. I really didn't have one. I'm gonna go with kind of what you did, not having that video package. There was nothing on the show. I mean, there's things I like better than others, of course, but there was nothing on the show that I mean, I could have said, well, I disagree with Sheeta being the champ. Well, that's not fair. Let's see what she does.
Yeah.
So that's not a loaf. So yeah, I really didn't have a loaf, honestly. Uh, and my loves, I had three. The first one was Leo Rush.
Yeah.
Just I'm loving what he's doing and what they're doing with him. I love it. Also, basically the thread through the show, how they started it,
Yeah.
other than the package would have added even more to it. But if the thread and the way they went through and had everything threaded out with the Omega and the Bucks talking, they followed through. Not that that segment was a lights out segment, but it added a little bit to it. I mean, it followed. If it had a thread, so I like that. And then my other one's not really about the show. It's about Tony Khan. I love Tony Khan, and the reason I love Tony Khan is because he's finally going to start the pay-per-views earlier.
Yeah.
He finally, because I was cussing him the other night when the pay-per-view ended at 1 o'clock, and I had been watching pay-per-view since 4. And I was very entertained, and that probably hurt their grade a little bit with me on the pay per view because the damn thing was so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony, I think finally, man, yeah, start that at 7. Honestly, you could start it at 6.
Yeah.
I
Especially
think a
the
lot
way
of
they
people,
run matches.
people on the East Coast would appreciate that.
Yeah.
The shortest match they had on that pay per view was 18 minutes.
That's crazy.
And
That's
the, and
crazy.
and you had like 9 or 10 matches, and then I think the main event was like 38 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was a great main event, but it was too long. It was. I love wrestling, you know that, but it was too long,
Yeah.
and that's what. If it would have been 30 minutes, it might have been the best match of the year. But
Really?
I think being too long hurt it because it was up there. I mean, it was a great. Them two put a performance on, and what another thing since you haven't seen it, and this could come to play later on too with storylines is Ospreay told he helped Swerve up and told him, said, "Hey, I know he was battling and everything, but I will always have your back." So that could play into some storylines in the
True.
future too. So I thought that was interesting, something that we have to keep an eye on because he did attack Garcia backstage, and the Death Riders I think maybe going after him. So again, that's going to be pulling Ospreay different directions.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I will I'll get a watch on that, and when we come back next week, I'll give a quick breakdown and my thoughts of it. We have Anthony chiming in. He's saying with Andrade, with him getting kicked out of the Don Callis family, I don't think he got kicked out. I think he left. Does this mean he's going to reform the group with Rush that he was the leader of in CMLL? I don't know. That's a thing that we'll have to just watch and see what happens. I think, like we said earlier with our Andrade breakdown, we just have to sit back and look and wait and see what they're doing. They're going to go, he's babyface. He's going to be it seems like he wants MJF. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Real quick before we get out of this, one other thing that I want to add to what I loved about AEW is the world heavyweight title scene. I love that it's different faces we're getting that are coming after him and wanting him and challenging him all the time. And in WWE, we have the same faces besides obviously Sami Zayn, but outside that, it's just a rotation of the same guys that we see a lot of. So I do love that about AEW and
Yep.
appreciate that. So that's something we can do. All right, Tony, this was
Can I ask you?
Yeah,
Can I ask
go
you a
ahead.
question? Because I'm not going to see you before then. I just want to get your thoughts, and it's not about AEW, so we'll do it quick. Monday Night Raw is going to be a big match, a championship match. It's either I'm not going to do spoilers, so it's going to it's either going to be Jey Uso or Cody Rhodes. They wrestle each other Friday night. The winner of that match wrestles Sami Zayn for the title on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen? Is Sami going to lose it there, back to Cody, or back to Jay, or what do you think?
Well, see, I hadn't thought about it because for some reason my focus got switched over to the Saturday Night Main Event rumor I was hearing with Sammy
Yep.
versus Brock and Brock taking it off Sammy there. But that's an interesting thing. Now, okay, so if Sammy drops this title, no matter to who, Tony, can we officially say that WWE bent the knee to overseas and threw the title on somebody that the fan base over there demanded?
Yeah, I think you could, but I don't think. I think Sammy's going to keep the belt to at least SummerSlam. I think that
You think so?
he's yes, I do. I think I don't know if it's going to be a heel version of this guy, but CM Punk is going to show up Monday night. That's in Chicago,
Okay.
and I think we're getting Cody and CM Punk at SummerSlam.
So then
And,
it would
but
make
not
sense?
but
Go
not for
ahead.
the title. Not for the title.
Yeah. Okay. So then it would make sense. Then it's going to be Cody, and CM Punk's going to cost Cody.
Yep.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. We'll get in the chat. Chat me up with that on Monday
Yeah.
night, and
Yeah.
we'll discuss that.
And now, would you have a problem with Sammy wrestling Jey Uso at
No.
SummerSlam?
100% no.
I think that's
I even said that I think when Sammy won it, I think they should have Sammy versus Jay at the hands of Roman pushing Jay into it. I think that plays into a lot of stories there and kind of shows a little bit of maybe the tribal chief's weakness or his
yeah,
uncertainty of what Jay is capable of at this moment because he's been out on his own.
yeah,
He's done things outside the group and now he's back. So he has that taste. He knows that
yeah,
taste in his mouth. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm there with you, Tony. I think this is going to be good. But again, yeah, Monday night, chat me up. Let's
Okay.
we'll discuss this while it's happening.
All right.
All right, Tony. This was a good episode. I enjoyed this
Yeah.
one. I know we were missing our
Yeah.
third amigo,
Yep.
our Steve Martin, as some would say. No one would say that when they talk about House.
No,
He is no,
that'd be the last thing I'd be thinking of is
yeah,
Steve Martin.
he's no Steve Martin.
I'd be closer to Steve Martin than he would,
Yeah.
and I'm not close to Steve Martin either, age wise. Yeah.
Well, maybe the three amigos is not a good one to use. We can find a different trios. But let them know where you're going to be at, Tony, and what you got cooking with the Gonzo crew over there.
Well, I'll be on the air here in just a little bit, about 8 o'clock with Face or Heel, with our guys at Gonzo Sports Room and Wrestling Room, and then at 10 we'll be on Gonzo Sports Room. We'll be talking World Cup, USA with a big victory yesterday. NBA's been going crazy with trades and moves, and Pacers made some pickups. Lakers got a whole new team, and Stephen A. Smith's upset because they're all white, and so we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. So we got that, and then Of course, Monday night last Monday we didn't have Gonzo's Wrestling Room Monday night at 6:30 because we was at the Jay County Fair doing a show. That went well. It was hot. It was
Yeah.
hot
Oh, I
out
bet.
there on that out there on that track. It was hot, but it went well. But we'll be back this week with the show, and so yeah, just check out our page and stuff. We do shows almost about every day. So
Yeah. And fans, you got an easy access right there with a QR code. You can
yeah,
up at the very top, you can click that and you're right into Gonzo's everything. You can go and see everything stock OG Tony. He likes a good
yeah,
stalker. So
yep.
go join over there and see what they got brewing. As for us at the In Your House Network, you know this show. You can stop in every Thursday at 6 p.m. Join us, talk some AEW Dynamite with me, Howse, and OG Tony. And I know you don't see Howse here, but he is a big, huge part of this show. Usually drives the show. He's usually the
Yep.
host of the show.
Yep.
So stop in, hang out with us. Again, with the QR code on the bottom, you can get to all the schedules of In Your House. We also do a really good Monday Night Raw review show with me and the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway. He's a fun guy. He's a great guy. He's a professional who has done all the moves that you could think of and everything in between those ropes inside that ring. Kevin has done it, and he gives his insight on the Monday Night Raw review show where me and him, we discuss Monday Night Raw with you fans, the fans that really drive the conversation over there. So stop in on a Tuesday at 6 p.m. with me and Kevin and talk some Monday Night Raw. The last show I do during the week is the WCW watch along with me and Howse, and that's what we do. We watch WCW. This last episode was a single match. We watched Arn Anderson versus Macho Man for the TV title, and it was epic. It was one of a really good mid-90s mid-card match. Like, this was really fun. We really seen the true dominance of the enforcer in his matches and how he would enforce his will onto people to make them wrestle his style of match. And it took Macho Man out of his normal high-flying Macho Man pandering to the crowd, and it was a really good watch. So go check that out. We are doing something different with the WCW. Now, if you're just going and checking out the podcast of it, you're only going to get the first half. To watch the watch along and to see the matches and the nitros that we do, you're either going to have to catch it live or hit up our YouTube or Twitch and watch the replay. Outside of that, we are going to be slowly moving these over into different areas of what we're doing. We have a website going. We're going to start adding a lot more to that. And there in the future, we have talked about going onto a Patreon. So there are going to be some shows that go over there. We have had some fans reach out and say, we're willing to pay you a monthly subscription. So when you hear that and we have production costs, you kind of go, well, why don't we think about that? So fans, it's a big move for us, but it's in the future talk. So come join the In Your House Network. We have so many things going on: a Discord, a website, all our streaming, all our wherever you can get our content with the podcast, the lives, the rewatches, things like that. Go check us out. And again, QR codes for us and Gonzo Sports and a wrestling room up at the top for them, down at the bottom for us. And fans, this has been another AEW Dynamite review show with me and OG Tony, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Dynamite, 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 dynamite.